Well, joining me next on the show is criminal lawyer Nick Freeman. Nick, what is the purpose of a settlement in this case if it doesn't come with an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement?
Well, we haven't seen the entire agreement. We've seen parts of it. I would have thought that there would be an NDA. What I understand at the moment is she certainly can't talk about it. Mrs. Giuffre can't talk about this until after the conclusion of the celebrations. And I would have thought that Prince Andrew's lawyers must have insisted that there will be limited disclosure. Otherwise, without it, she could literally spend the rest of her life going round giving talks about how she had sex on 3 occasions with Prince Andrew, which to a large extent would defeat the whole object and purpose behind the settlement. He'd be paying his money, she wouldn't be gagged, and it would be dealt with on the basis that this happened. You know, the purpose of the settlement really is to, each party has gained something from it. You know, she's gained obviously a substantial amount of money. She's gained recognition that she was trafficked and that she was abused. He's managed to put the thing to bed without any admission of guilt and without an apology. So at the moment, they've both got something that they can take away. And it's important, I think, to bear in mind that the proceedings in 30 days will be withdrawn. So in effect, he has won the case. There is going to be no finding by a jury against him, which is obviously hugely significant. But I haven't seen the minutiae of the agreement. It would have been very carefully crafted. And I would have thought she must be very limited as to what she says. She might be able to talk about it, but under very limited circumstances. But I can only speculate because I haven't seen the agreement. And all we're told at the moment is she can't talk until the conclusion of the celebrations.
But has Prince Andrew really managed to put this to bed? Because there'll be a lot of people out there thinking he was prepared to go to court. He's now coughed up 12 million, which is a huge amount of money. And for a lot of people, they will read that potentially as a confession of guilt.
Yeah, I think literally all your viewers will be thinking, you know, if I haven't done something, I'm absolutely not involved in this. Number one, I'm going to clear my name. I want to establish my innocence. And number two, I'm not going to part with a huge amount of money for something that I'm completely innocent of. That's one aspect. The other aspect, of course, is that this is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. And she and no other senior members of the royal family would want these celebrations, which are completely unique, being overshadowed by such a tawdry and an embarrassing affair. So he would be under huge pressure to get rid of it. And I'm surprised that a settlement wasn't reached much sooner. You know, in my view, as soon as she got the green light for civil proceedings, as soon as she started this, I'm surprised that Prince Andrew's lawyers didn't reach an agreement, discuss this matter with her lawyers and say, look, what do we need to pay? How can we sort this out? Let's thrash out the terms of the agreement, because it's dragged on so long. And, you know, there's already been huge damage done. And, you know, I think the vast majority of people will assume that there's something in this. Otherwise, why would he fork out? So as you rightly say, he's paying a lot of money. He's avoiding having to go to court. He's avoiding the potential for a conviction, which is hugely important for him. We're not saying that he has done it or he hasn't done it. We just don't know. We don't know what all the evidence is. But he's avoiding a conviction by a jury, which would be truly horrendous for him and the royal family. And I think that's the main advantage of doing this settlement. It's avoiding that. It's paying money. She, on the other hand, hasn't got a conviction. In 30 days, this will be put to bed. The proceedings will be withdrawn. So there is no conviction, no finding on the balance of probabilities that he had sex with her on 3 occasions. So that's really the benefit to him. And one can see that is of huge benefit to him. But of course, there's going to be a very strong smell attached to that payment. And I don't think that stench is ever going to go away. And I think Prince Andrew will not ever return to public life as a consequence of that.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. Nick Freeman, criminal lawyer, thank you so much for coming on and explaining all the legal details of that settlement. Joining me in the studio.